Today's event commemorates the launch of a new product of the NTA, the Record of Achievement. The event's proceedings will begin with a short opening ceremony, followed by speakers from the private and public sectors. And there would also be a presentation and demonstration on the Record of Achievement. As we begin our official opening, I wish to introduce someone with over 20 years' experience in TVET. She has played a key role in the development of various rationalization plans and was a member of the Regional Working Committee for the revision of the Regional Vocational Qualification Framework. She is currently Trinidad and Tobago's Country Coordinator for UNESCO UNIVOC. Please welcome the Chief Executive Officer of the National Training Agency, Dr. Patrice Searles.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the national launch of the Record of Achievement for Technical and Vocational Education and Training. I wish to acknowledge and convey my sincere appreciation and gratitude to the Minister of Education, Dr. the Honourable Nyan Gadsby-Dolly, to the Chairman of the Board of the National Training Agency, Dr. Ruby S. Alleyne, to members of the National Training Agency's Board of Directors, to our managers and staff, speakers, and you, our valued stakeholders. We at the NTA believe that the work of the agency is a critical link in achieving the Government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago's policy intent to create a competent and capable workforce through access to and delivery of high-quality education and training. Operating under the aegis of the Ministry of Education, the NTA's services are therefore of national importance as we seek to promote, strengthen, and quality assure the TVET landscape. So whether the agency is developing national occupational standards of competencies or assessing the labour market needs of the various priority sectors, or even when we are guiding the next generation of students in their career choices, or setting the standards for robust and resilient quality management systems, the NTA is astutely aware of the weight of its mandate. The NTA remains conscious of the value add of its products and services to administrators of training institutions, employers, workers, and students. And it is with that latter group in mind that the NTA has created the Record of Achievement, a mechanism for these young men and women to collate onto a single document all their TTNVQ and CVQ accomplishments. Through the critical contributions of numerous industry representatives and practitioners, our qualifications in the form of the Trinidad and Tobago Vocational Qualifications, TTNVQ, and the Caribbean Vocational Qualification, the CVQ, these awards stand as strong and industry-validated credentials. Awards that thousands of young and not so young men and women have actively pursued because we have told them and they have accepted that education and training pursuits are their way out of vulnerable situations, that these pursuits will allow them a brighter, more productive future. Through our Record of Achievement, these individuals will be provided with a transcript of all their efforts and achievements. They will be provided with a chance to stop and take stock of their growth and vocational progress physically before them. The Record of Achievement will provide them with a moment to see, celebrate, and present to others not only a record of what they have been certified to do, but to stand as a testimony of their hours of sacrifice and their months of training, and the years of them journeying along this path of lifelong learning. Facilitated through the NTA's TVET registry, commonly known as the TVET Control Center, the Record of Achievement can be accessed from any location by graduates, employers, and training providers. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank you for logging on this morning for the launch of the NTA's new and innovative digitalized product. Through it, we are going to make a difference and touch lives. I wish you the best, and I say to you, be blessed and have a productive day.
Thank you, Dr. Searles. Now I would like to invite an individual with extensive experience in training and education. with particular interest in tertiary education administration and management, quality assurance and accreditation. She plays a significant role in the development of quality assurance and accreditation systems in the Caribbean, and presently chairs the task force for the establishment of the CARICOM Quality Assurance Register. She is presently the Vice President of Quality Assurance and Institutional Effectiveness at the University of Trinidad and Tobago. Please welcome the Chairman of the National Training Agency, Dr. Ruby Alleyne.
Dr. the Honourable Nyan Gadsby-Dolly, Minister of Education and Member of Parliament, Permanent Secretaries and Senior Ministry officials, members of the NTA Board of Directors, Dr. Patrice Parris, Searles, CEO, management and staff of the NTA, distinguished speakers and stakeholders, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. 2 years ago, when the National Training Agency was successful in its application to UNESCO to become a UNIVOC Centre, this signaled the beginning of a new era for TVET or TECVOC education in Trinidad and Tobago. UNIVOC Centres worldwide form part of a global learning network of institutions and organizations involved in TVET. Membership in this network has exposed the NTA to new and emerging practices and innovations in TVET. These have served to strengthen its institutional capacity and improve our ability to engage a wider range of stakeholders. Internationally, the role of TVET in enhancing employability, increasing productivity, and promoting the value of lifelong learning is well established. It is with this in mind that successive boards of the NTA since 2017 have refocused the agency on its mandate to serve as a national hub for the development and promotion of a high-quality, relevant, and responsive TVET sector for our country. Today, the NTA is pleased to launch this new product, the TVET Record of Achievement. Simply put, the RoA is like a traditional transcript, but better because it offers something more. It is a virtual one-stop shop which provides a potential employer, education or training institute, or any interested party with a panoramic view of the TVET credentials and competencies acquired by the holder over his or her lifetime and the date of acquisition of the skills. The NTA, having entered the international arena in 2019, through membership in the UNIVOC network, has placed priority through the award of CVQs and TTMVQs, not only on the preparation of graduates for the local job market, but on their mobility based on regional and international job opportunities and the demand for skills. This serves the objective of strengthening the CARICOM single market and economy. It is in this context that we launched the RoA to the national and regional communities today. The RoA is the first of its kind in CARICOM, which is based on a robust information technology platform with the capacity to support the development of digital credentials and badges in the not too distant future. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I wish to congratulate the CEO, Dr. Patrice Parris Searles, the management and staff on this sterling achievement. I also wish to express our sincere appreciation to Dr. the Honourable Nyan Gadsby-Dolly, the Permanent Secretaries and the Senior Ministry officials for the support which the NTA receives in carrying out its mandate. The Honourable Minister has truly demonstrated her commitment to TVET and her support for the role that it can and must play, particularly in the development of the youth of our country. Let me end by saying that the launch of the Record of Achievement today is but one of many initiatives in which the NTA is currently engaged. The NTA also recently established the National TVET Research Council, which will serve as a coordinating and advisory body for conducting research to support data-driven policy formulation, evidence-based decision-making, and planning for TVET development in Trinidad and Tobago. One of the Council's first research projects is a national tracer study of TVET graduates, which will seek to evaluate several aspects of the impact of this country's investment in TVET programs over the years. It is significant that we are joined today in this launch by some of our key stakeholders: the Ministry of Education, the Human Resource Management Association of Trinidad and Tobago, HRMATT, the University of Trinidad and Tobago, and a graduate from one of our TVET institutions, and all of you who've joined us for this event. This is a strategic alliance which augurs well for the future. There is an African proverb which says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Thank you for joining us. Let us set out together.
Then, on the 19th of August 2020, she was appointed as the Minister of Education. Please welcome Dr. the Honourable Nyan Gadsby-Dolly.
Dr. Ruby Alleyne, Chairman of the National Training Agency, Dr. Patrice Parris Searles, Chief Executive Officer at the National Training Agency, management and staff of the NTA, speakers and stakeholders, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Sport legend Tiger Woods once remarked, no matter how good you get, you can always get better. And that's the exciting part. This quote is at the heart of all we do here at the Ministry of Education. We are always seeking out new ways to improve the education system in Trinidad and Tobago. Education, by reason of simply what it is, constantly evolves. Therefore, we are committed to keeping pace with local and international developments, ensuring that our standard, at the very least, is on par with international best practice. After all, we are in the business of producing tomorrow's leaders, innovators, decision makers, and caregivers. We understand that if Trinidad and Tobago is to produce educated, forward-thinking, problem-solving citizens, then there must be adequate investment into their development. Today's virtual launch of the NTA's record of achievement of the RoA is a testament to this ministry's commitment to ongoing improvement. In short, the RoA is a comprehensive official transcript for graduates with Trinidad and Tobago National Vocational Qualification or the Caribbean Vocational Qualification. The brilliance in its design is that it allows students to produce a single record that includes their cumulative qualifications and competencies that were acquired from multiple institutions over the course of their academic career. As the government of Trinidad and Tobago leads our nation into the digital revolution, this is exactly the type of innovative approach to administrating educational institutions that we expect to see coming out of the Ministry of Education and its agencies. The RoA accomplishes this by establishing a centralized electronic database that documents the achievements of all TTNVQ and CVQ graduates. Another key benefit of the RoA catalog is the ease with which potential employers and other education institutions are able to access a candidate's academic records for consideration of employment or admission. The RoA also provides a framework for graduates to record and present their achievements in an organized and concise manner. These benefits are critical as we continue the national discussion on the transformation of the education system. Putting this into the context of the Education Policy 2022-27, Technical and Vocational Education and Training, or TVET, revitalization is one of the 8 strategic goals of the policy that came out of the first phase of the national consultation on transforming the education system, which was held in November 2020. TVET has played a phenomenal role in the education landscape of Trinidad and Tobago, and the NTA, as a regulatory body for TVET, has the responsibility for planning, coordinating, and administering the national training system in order to ensure that the human capital of Trinidad and Tobago is effectively developed in the areas of technical and vocational skills. The goals are many, but will include all those actions which are needed to position TVET as a premier career choice for all learners. We currently exist at a time where the world at large is heading towards a more customer-centered approach to education. This is in line with the UN's Sustainable Development Goal, SDG 4, that aims to ensure access to quality education for all persons throughout their lives. It is also equally imperative that this success be matched by quality. UNESCO, the United Nations agency that oversees all aspects of education, has been advocating for global leadership in education, the strengthening of our education systems, and the implementation of effective responses to contemporary issues in education administration. I believe that with this our initiative, the NTA has taken a monumental leap on the ever-evolving journey towards attaining excellence in education. The COVID-19 pandemic made it necessary for us at the Ministry of Education to intensify our efforts at achieving digitalization. Even though this process was underway prior to March 2020 when schools closed, the new online and blended environment called for an acceleration in our efforts to accommodate this new style of teaching and learning for all of our students and teachers. The Ministry has been working assiduously to increase connectivity at schools, training for teachers in ICT, and the provision of devices. Already 43,000 devices delivered to students and teachers under the government's laptop distribution project, as well as the Adopt a School program. As the world finds digital solutions to traditional needs, we are working to ensure that no learner is left behind. A cliched statement, but no less factual for that fact. We must continue to ensure that our population remains current with the international advances in education. And every member of the team at the Ministry of Education is passionate about achieving that goal. As our nation moves forward in our digital transformation, individual institutions, ministries, and agencies must look inward to determine what they can do to play their role in this revolution. And I commend the NTA for doing just that. In addition to the benefits already discussed, the RoA will ensure that our TVET graduates have the opportunity to smoothly transition into the world of work. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Education remains committed to providing equitable access to quality education. As the world changes and adapts to our various challenges, I'm excited about the possibilities and the opportunities that these challenges bring. We know that we are working together to achieve modern, quality, relevant education for all. It is imperative that every parent, teacher, stakeholder, and citizen understands that we are working together to achieve this goal. The world is our oyster, as it is said. Our opportunities are limitless, and if we work together, then we can achieve the goal of education for all of our citizens. As I close, I wish to thank you for joining with us today to celebrate the launch of the Record of Achievement project. And I look forward, NTA, to being present at the launch of many more innovations which will carry us into the 21st century. God bless you and thank you.
Thank you, Minister Dr. Nyan Gadsby-Dolly, for taking the time to join us today and for such an important address. At this point in our program, I wish to invite you to enjoy a presentation on the Record of Achievement presented by Mrs. Elenor Rampersad David, Manager of Projects at the National Training Agency.
Good day, speakers, valued stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege to discuss this new product of the NTA, the Record of Achievement, and how you may access it. The RoA can be accessed on the TVET Control Center, which is the NTA's online database. Upon accessing the RoA on the TVET Control Center, the candidates will be able to provide feedback on the programs that they have pursued, thus giving them an opportunity to participate in a structured feedback system. This information will be used to inform program development. The Record of Achievement shows the candidate's name and their unique number. There's a summary statement that says that the transcript shows the full qualifications and units awarded to the candidate. You will see the type of qualifications attained, whether a TTNVQ or CVQ. Also, the qualifications by occupational area will be listed. In this sample, it is building construction drafting, fabrication, and customer service. The level of the qualification is also stated. You will also be able to see the institution where the graduates pursued the program. It is possible for a candidate to begin a program at one institution and complete the full qualification at another institution. So the institution where the graduate attained the full award will be indicated. And finally, the date the award was given, whether it was a unit award or a full award, will be stated. The second part of the RoA shows the qualifications attained clustered by sectors. So in this sample, the 3 qualifications fall into the construction, business services, communication, ICT, and engineering sectors. The RoA, when downloaded, will have a timestamp. The Record of Achievement is available to the graduates in 2 forms. The first is where they can go directly onto the Record of Achievement platform and download it. This will be in a PDF format, and the candidates are able to save it or print it or send it to an interested third party. There will be no cost attached to this version, and there will be a watermark that says unofficial copy. The second option is to request the Record of Achievement from the National Training Agency. The NTA seal will go on this copy, and the RoA will be sent directly to the employer where the graduate is seeking employment, or the training institution where the graduate is seeking enrollment. There will be a cost consideration of $150 TT per transcript. As I mentioned earlier, the Record of Achievement will provide a mechanism for feedback from the graduates. So the graduates will be required to answer some labor market information when seeking to access the Record of Achievement. The information will be in the form of a questionnaire, and there will be 5 questions in sequential order. Upon logging into one's account to access the RoA, the candidates will be prompted to respond to these questions. Questions will change from time to time. However, graduates will only be prompted to answer the questions if they have changed from the last time that they accessed the RoA platform. The advantages of using this instrument is that the questions are standardized so that the data is easy to collect and collate, thus giving real-time data. After the graduates have answered the questions, they can then proceed to the Record of Achievement. You will now see a demonstration on how to access the Record of Achievement on the TVET Control Center.
To access your Record of Achievement, go to ntatvcenter.org and log into your candidate account. On your candidate portal page, click Record of Achievement. Scroll down and click the Print Record of Achievement button. Your Record of Achievement PDF file will download.
What are the significant benefits that the graduates can derive from the Record of Achievement. First and foremost, it will support the graduates' job search by having their qualifications attained at the various institutions, as well as through prior learning and assessment recognition in one document. So the employers can now have a holistic view of the graduate's ability. The RoA would also encourage the graduates to take responsibility for their own development and promote lifelong learning. The RoA will display the graduates' qualifications in the various sector groupings, thus showing the broad scope of their competence. And it will also give a comprehensive list of all the training institutions that awarded those qualifications. Employers can also benefit from the Record of Achievement because it makes recruitment easier for them by saving on time and cost. Upon looking at the graduate's application, they will immediately see a snapshot of the graduate's qualifications. Employers can also use the Record of Achievement that is attached to the graduate's application when screening and shortlisting for interviews. Employers can receive a copy of the RoA directly from the NTA for their official records when selecting the candidates for the job, and be assured that the Record of Achievement has been validated by us, so that they no longer have to dedicate resources to verify and validate several certificates awarded at various institutions. Institutions also benefit from the Record of Achievement when candidates are enrolling into programs at a higher level. They can obtain this competency transcript directly from the NTA. It is envisioned that the Record of Achievement will provide the graduates with a valuable tool when seeking to further their training, earn gainful employment, as well as engage in lifelong learning. The National Training Agency is looking forward to engaging these graduates at this new level to inform TVET decisions and to impact on a certified and competent workforce. So now that you are certified, allow the Record of Achievement to help you navigate through your future endeavors. So we encourage you to go onto the TVET Control Center at ntatt.org and start using the Record of Achievement. Good luck to all of you.
Thank you, Mrs. Rampersad David, for such an informative presentation. At this point, I would like to introduce you to a few speakers who have commented on the Record of Achievement. It begins with remarks from Ms. Natalie Jackman Ible, Vice President of the Human Resource Management Association of Trinidad and Tobago, known as HRMATT, followed by Dr. Daniel White, Assistant Professor of Project Management and Civil Infrastructure Systems from the University of Trinidad and Tobago, and concludes with the shared experience of Ms. Samanthra Mapp, a graduate from the Youth Training and Employment Partnership Program, popularly known as YTEPP.
Dr. the Honourable Nyan Gadsby-Dolly, Minister of Education and Member of Parliament, distinguished speakers and stakeholders, the board, management and staff of the National Training Agency, listeners and viewers, thank you for including the Human Resource Management Association of Trinidad and Tobago in this very noteworthy event. On behalf of the board and members of HRMATT, we wish to recognize the wisdom of the National Training Agency and offer our support and indeed endorsement of the Record of Achievement that is being launched today and which is to be used with the TVET and CVQ training and qualifications. This RoA offers real value and convenience for the conduct of the human resource profession and other related services in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean, because there's a real cost to the time and effort invested in verification of certifications and resumes across a range of institutions, employers, and formats. We recognize the value and convenience to the graduate now and far into the future when he is still required to produce an accurate record of training and competency and to be able to receive or send to any part of the world. I encourage graduates to make full use of the RoA. Most importantly, since HRMATT is committed to promoting development through and of people, we especially appreciate the RoA's potential in recognizing achievement and therefore building esteem and confidence, as well as facilitating meaningful individual development conversations, whether through mentorship or internship or otherwise. We encourage employers to take full advantage of this system. We also note that it's possible to get an aggregated view that will also guide various labor studies and sector development conversations. The Caribbean has been data-starved, and HRMATT looks forward to seeing this materialize and grow. We'd like to challenge the NTA to go further and consider exploiting the full potential of the RoA database. We believe employers and recruiters will respond well to having the ability to proactively access the database, directly or indirectly through NTA, for sourcing lists of potential candidates for vocational positions. Consider how this database might provide insight into the recruitment practices in Trinidad and Tobago, maybe even the Caribbean. HRMATT also challenges the NTA to ensure that the availability of this solution is widely communicated to both graduates and employers, and we'll support in that endeavor. But for now, HRMATT is convinced that the RoA will be a welcome addition with potential to spin off future opportunities for the NTA and its stakeholders. This solution is therefore wholeheartedly welcomed and endorsed by the Human Resource Management Association of Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you very much.
Members of the head table, specially invited guests, and TVET practitioners. Good morning. I've been invited to speak on the record of achievement, and as you are well aware, the record of achievement keeps a record of all of your TVET training and education in a single location or document that can be used for employment. But please note that tertiary level institutions like the University of Trinidad and Tobago also have mature student entry routes. For this, your prior learning and experience is taken into account and used for matriculation into our programs. Now, over my many years of teaching at the university in the food technology program and the civil engineering program, I've come across many TVET professionals. And in so doing, we've had conversations that brought depth to the classroom. And these persons were involved in varied skills like food and beverage, welding, plumbing, masonry. And they have taken the bold step forward to widen their horizons and become food technologists and engineers. So as you continue to expose yourself to knowledge and skill building activities, maybe one day we will meet in person as you take up a spot as a student at the University of Trinidad and Tobago. But at this time, I would like to take a pivot to Japan, to the Toyota Motor Corporation, which is well known for producing reliable and high quality vehicles. And that was not by accident, but actually it is a process. They have embodied into their philosophy the Japanese word kaizen, which means continuous improvement or to change for the better. And because the company has embedded this philosophy into its manufacturing processes. Failure of components are less frequent. As a result, the reliability of their product is increased. And the lesson that we can take from Toyota and their embodiment of Kaizen, that continuous improvement and changing for the better, is you as a TVET professional or practitioner continuously improving yourself through education and skill building activities, which can only redound to greater success in your activities. For as you become exposed to knowledge and skill and expertise, you can broaden your horizons and become more than. You can become an entrepreneur, owning your own business, become a driving force in the moving forward of the Trinidad and Tobago economy. Or at some point in time, we would become more dependent on services rather than energy. You can become an engineer. You can become an educator. Within your own business, you would be able to do more as you continuously expose yourself to training. So with this message, I say thank you for listening. Keep training so that one day we may meet and I can impart some knowledge to you. You can have a good conversation with me.
Hello, I am Samanthra Mapp, graduate from the Institute of Cosmetology. When I first heard about the Record of Achievement program and the potential it offers its graduates, I immediately became intrigued by this initiative. Basically, it offers graduates from various institutions access to their qualifications via an online platform. On this platform will be listed your many qualifications that you have attained, your different modules that you would have attained during your course of study, and it enables employees to see a breakdown as to the different aspect of training that was embarked upon. And too often, I think some of these programs are a little undermined in terms that they don't see that most of these programs, in my opinion, are of international standards. And I'm speaking based on what I have gathered, what I have attained in my at the Institute of Cosmetology, international standard cosmetology studies, and there is a holistic approach to the different vocational fields, and it's everything that an employer is looking for in an employee. And I think personally they having access to this information, being able to type in something on an online platform and everything is coming up on your area of study, from every institution that you have been to. I think that is an amazing start for us here. And it really eliminates the time, and I think that there will be a quicker access to your qualifications, because sometimes you have to wait a little while to receive these qualifications. But I think that having this at your fingertips is an amazing venture, and I look forward to seeing this from us here from the institution, and I really endorse this program. I look forward to see what it brings.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the launch of the Record of Achievement. I wish to thank the Honourable Minister of Education, Dr. Nyan Gadsby-Dolly, for taking the time to share her message with us today. Thank you to the Chairman of the NTA, Dr. Ruby Alleyne, and to the CEO of the NTA, Dr. Patrice Searles, for your time and effort given to this event. To our presenters and speakers, your information and remarks were very enlightening. Thank you. And to our listeners who took the time to join us today, thank you very much. Have a pleasant afternoon, everyone, and God bless.